All right, I want to talk about something that is actually messing with a lot of buyers right now. No, it's not interest rates. It's not even prices. It's the pressure to make the right decision. I had a conversation with a buyer recently, and they said, I just don't want to make the wrong choice. And I get that. Buying a house is a huge deal. It's a lot of money, and it's where you're going to live. It affects your day-to-day life more than almost anything else. So yes, you should be thinking about it. You should be asking all the questions. You should be paying lots of attention. But here's the part that nobody really explains well. You're not choosing between a right decision and a wrong decision. You're choosing between trade-offs. There is not a perfect house. There's no perfect timing. There's no version of this where everything lines out and you feel 100% certain that there's zero risk and zero doubt. That doesn't exist. And what I'm seeing right now is buyers getting stuck because they're trying to eliminate all risk before they move forward. They're trying to make sure, am I buying at the right time? Is this the best possible house? What if something better comes up? What if prices change? And what if rates change? And the problem is, you can always ask another what if. There's no end to that in life. So what happens to people who stay in this loop is that they're constantly analyzing, constantly waiting, constantly second guessing, and they never actually make a decision. Or they pass on a house that actually made a lot of sense for them. Then they look back 30, 60, 90 days later and go, why didn't we just move on that one? Not because it was perfect, but because it worked. That's the shift I try to help my clients make. Instead of asking, is this the perfect house? Is this the perfect time? We start asking, what matters most to you? What are you not willing to compromise on? And what are you okay flexing on? Because every house is going to be a mix of both of those. Maybe you get the location you want, but the kitchen isn't exactly what you would have picked. Maybe you get the layout you love, but you don't get the perfect outdoor space. Maybe you get the price you're comfortable with, but it needs a little bit of work. That's normal. That's the process. And buyers who figure this out early are the ones who get clear on their priorities instead of chasing perfection. Those are the ones who end up feeling really good about their decision. Not because everything was perfect, but because it fit their life. And the other thing I think people don't talk about enough is what happens after you go under contract. Because even when you make a solid decision, even when the house makes perfect sense, and even when you've thought it through, you're still probably going to question it. That is very normal. You're going to have a moment where you think, did we move too fast? Did we overpay? Should we have waited? Literally every buyer goes through that. It doesn't mean you've made a bad decision though. It means you've made a big decision. So if you're in the process right now, or you're thinking about buying, here is the way that I would frame it for you going forward. You don't need perfect. You don't need zero doubt, because that's not going to happen. You don't need to time everything exactly right, because that's really hard. You need clarity on what actually matters to you the most, and the ability to recognize when something fits that. Because if you keep waiting for everything to line up perfectly, you're going to stay stuck. And if you shift into looking for something that works, something that fits your priorities, your lifestyle, your budget, that's where things start to move. And that's actually where people end up the happiest with the decision they've made. So if you're in that spot where you're analyzing every single thing and trying to figure out if you're making the right move, you're probably asking the wrong question. The better question is, what trade-offs am I okay making to get the life I actually want? And if you can answer that, the whole process gets a lot easier. For more information on real estate in Denver, more real estate advice, just more info on Denver in general, like and follow below.